What's going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon back. And if you've noticed recently, folks, I have put out quite a few videos talking about the Japanese McDonald's Burgerchu card and basically how it's one of the worst investments you could have made in terms of buying it right out of the gate as a PSA 10 or CGC 10 or BGS 10. And I would like to read a comment posted on my most recent video. You have an unhealthy obsession with the Burgerchu price action. And to that I say, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And having been investigating this market for the past decade, I have never before seen a card more volatile, having such a dramatic price crash in such a short period of time, and also having the most graded copies in also a very short period of time. Folks, the numbers I'm going to share with you today will absolutely blow your mind. We'll be talking about the prices of these cards. We'll be talking about the population of PSA 10s and CGC 10s and BGS 10s. So folks, before I get into all that information, a quick shout out to today's video sponsor. It's the awesome people over at Arizona TCG. Arizona TCG, if you're not aware, is a Pokemon card consignment service that's been around for quite a while. And their eBay listings get tons of traffic, folks. When you consign your cards through Arizona TCG, you see your cards the whole way through. From the intake, to the photos they take, to the listing, to the live auction stats, to the payout, all in a squeaky clean dashboard. You can choose to have weekly auctions for reach, or choose buy it now and edit your price in real time. ArizonaTCG.com is fast and transparent, and their user interface is genuinely easy to use. Let professionals get you the premium sales on your graded cards. Use code TOP10 at ArizonaTCG.com, and as always, folks, I really appreciate your support. Alright folks, let's get started here. The first thing I wanted to point out was in the last video I made about this card, which is about 3 weeks ago, I showed you a little screen capture of the auctions that were in place for this card, and a lot of y'all didn't believe me. A lot of y'all thought that was a screen loop or something like that. I assure you it was not, because right here beside me now are PSA 10 auctions of this card all in one evening. Like, there are dozens and dozens of cards as PSA 10s ending each minute from like 8 o'clock on. I mean, it's right here, folks. This is not on a loop. These are all PSA 10 copies up for auction, and it's quite staggering just how many there are. So at the time I made the video 3 weeks ago, this card had a PSA 10 population of 14,080 copies. You want to guess how many PSA 10s there are now? Go ahead and guess. You ready? There are, as of the making of this video, 62,380 PSA 10 copies of this card. And what's crazy, folks, I mean, that's crazy, but what's really blowing my mind is that 2 days ago, when I was making this video and formatting things and getting ready to film it, 2 days ago, this card had 59,855 PSA 10 copies. So in 2 days, in a little shy of 2 days actually, there have been 2,525 PSA 10 copies of this card added to the pop report in 2 days. And I also got in the comments a lot of people comparing this card to the Pikachu Van Gogh promo, saying that that card was destined to fail with the population of it, and it somehow went above and beyond, as we know. But let me just show you that the Pikachu Van Gogh promo currently has 43,765 PSA 10 copies. And what makes that vastly different from the Burgerchu is that that took a little over 2 years to accrue that many copies. Whereas the Burgerchu currently has over 62,000 copies in less than 2 months of it being released. If that don't blow your mind, I don't know what will. So let's take a look at some of the PSA 10 prices of this card in auction when it first hit the market versus what they sell for now. So when this card first came out, early September, it was selling for about $512 to about $540, all the way up to about $565. But in the past 2 days, we have seen hundreds of sales of this card, ranging from $123 to $116. So that is quite the crash for this card in a matter of a month, really, of it being on the open market. Now, CGC is really no different. 3 weeks ago when I made that video, this card had 2,635 CGC 10 pristine copies. Now it has 5,155 copies, so not quite as severe as the PSA 10 copies, but still pretty significant. And the CGC 10 prices have also come down a lot. It used to sell for about $610. Here's a sale for $435. So mostly in the 400 area when it first came out. Now this card is selling as a CGC 10 for about $120 to about $118 pretty much all day. And last but not least, we have the Beckett Pop Report. 3 weeks ago, this card only had 5 black labels available. And of course, we had seen that record-breaking black label sale of over $21,000. But now, 3 weeks later, there are 41 black label copies of this card with 372 pristine 10s from Beckett. And the black label sales of this card have crashed so hard in such a short period of time. Once again, we had that record sale a little over 3 weeks ago of about $21,100, and then pretty shortly after that, it went to $10,988, and then to $7,000, and then to $6,500, then to $6,000, then to $4,725, finally landing most recently at about $4,595. And there are many more coming through an auction as I speak. And this card currently has a gem rate with PSA, CGC, and BGS of over 90% for each grading card company. So it's a very easy card to grade if you didn't figure that out by now. So I would like to read off a couple of comments that were on my very first Burgerchu video. 14,000, nothing compared to Van Gogh Pikachu. That's what I learned. That card was sitting at nearly $100, thinking it wasn't going to move, and maybe it should have, but the market we are in said, yeah, they want it. So that was 3 weeks ago when the population of the Burgerchu was 14,000, not 60,000 plus in less than 3 weeks. So, I mean, I don't know. I always ask the question, where is the threshold for these graded copies? I mean, where is the supply going to outweigh the demand? And as you know, demand isn't always going to be there, but the supply usually is. Timmy here said, sorry, but you're failing to point out that the black label went for a high bid because its cert is recognized as the very first one. Then, second and third, which falls in line for new high promo cards of any type. Timmy, I've never heard of this before. I mean, here is the sale of the first black label. I don't know if it's the first black label sale that we saw, and I don't think that anywhere on the graded card does it say that it's the first black label. Am I missing something here? I don't think that's a thing. Just because it was the first black label graded, automatically it's a $20,000 plus card, and every other card is a fraction of that. I've never heard of that before. Yeah, if there's anything I can say in this Pokemon environment is that the old rules do not apply anymore. And to that, I would kind of agree. In terms of population, that is, what's considered low pop and high pop is wildly different than it was 5 years ago. But I would say the fundamentals of popularity and the fundamentals of sealed product being one of the best investments still holds true. There's definitely a different outlook on population. I can give you that one. So yeah, folks, what do you think of the Burgerchu? I have never seen numbers like this before. I've never seen a card crash so fast while simultaneously having tens of thousands of cards being graded like a week. Let me know what you think about it, folks. I appreciate you watching. That's all I got for you today. Leave a comment below, and I will catch you all in my next one.